Hi, I'm Tamsien, one of the members of the Framework community. I'm passionate about sharing my love of creative journaling as a tool to help people tap into their creativity, express and process emotions, and develop skills in reflection. If you haven't kept a journal before, it can feel like an intimidating thing. So today I'm going to share with you a simple activity that can be completed in 10 minutes. It'll use just the materials that you happen to have at home or with you at work. It's a really easy way to get started with a creative journaling practice. But first, what do I mean by a creative journal? All I mean is a notebook that you fill with your thoughts, reflections, any kind of feelings that you're experiencing. It could also include images and illustrations. It might look like this, filled with pages of writing, perhaps with little drawings and things like that. Or you might express yourself through collage and combinations of images and words. Your journal should be a deeply personal space, something that serves you in the moment, however you need it. So what are you going to need to complete this activity? First of all, you'll need something to write in or on. A pen, you might like to have a pencil, an eraser, sharpener, ruler, sticky tape, glue. If you're going to do collage, you might need some old magazines or notebooks, some pencils, some paints, some paintbrushes. Whatever you happen to have around the house that you would like to get creative with, you can incorporate into your journal. This activity is to create a permission slip. Whether you work in a creative role or not, when it comes to personal projects, one of the biggest barriers can just be getting started. We might worry that we're not good enough or that we don't have anything important to say. We also might worry that we don't have the right materials or haven't studied the right techniques to be able to produce something that's beautiful or perfect. We might even worry that if we start journaling, too many emotions might come out that we're not prepared for or not ready to deal with. And there's also often a worry that we should be doing something else, that we should be doing something more important. This is particularly true if you're a freelancer who is working on self-directed projects. It can be really difficult to take time out for yourself to work on creative projects that are not specifically linked to work, commissions, or other outcomes. But I really want to challenge all of those things, but particularly the idea that there's something more important that we should be doing with our time. I genuinely think there's nothing more important than journaling, that taking a little bit of time out of your day, it doesn't have to be a lot of time, is really essential. That moment of reflection can really help to fuel your creative process in your personal life and in your work. Open to a blank page, and on that page, using whatever materials you happen to have chosen, create a permission slip for yourself to make bad art or messy art or to write messy words. Whatever it is that you need permission to do to get started with your journal. I'm going to show you 3 examples of how I have tried to create a different permission slip for my art. In this first example, I'm just using a pencil and then a pen to sketch out my very own Bad Art Club permission slip. It says very simply my name and that I give permission to myself to create art that is bad, messy, incomplete, strange, and unplanned. The second example is using colored pencils. I've interpreted the idea of a permission slip in a slightly more abstract way, just giving myself permission to color in, to make art that feels childlike, free, and kind of happy. And this last example is about using collage techniques. I've torn up bits of paper, gluing them down with my glue stick, layering that, creating different textures. I've added some colored tapes and finished it off with some blue paint, using bold strokes to create layers of words over the top of my image. This activity can be completed anytime. It could be when you start a new journal or notebook. It could be when you start a new project at work or in your personal life. I like to complete it regularly whenever I'm feeling intimidated. If I feel imposter syndrome sneaking in, I like to create a permission slip to give myself permission to try, to attempt, to do something new, and even to fail. So choose your supplies, set a timer for 10 minutes, and give it a go. I'd really love to hear from you if you end up completing this activity and if it has a positive impact on you and your creative practice.